What is up, everybody? Ready to talk some fantasy football today on this beautiful Thursday. On my drive right now to Taylor University for practice. My brother and I are coaching over there. That's where we played our college careers at. We've got a great opportunity to help out the team on staff this year, and so it's been super exciting. I've been looking forward to making this fantasy football video all week long. It just hasn't happened yet, so I feel like this time is the right time. And I want to talk about what the wild week one looked like. I love it. Every year, it's always something crazy. Last year was Kareem Hunt. Who knew? It just went crazy. This year, I feel like there's a lot of stories that kind of went under the radar. Obviously, Sam Darnold came out, did his thing. You know, at Brothers and Cards, we've been hyping that train up all year. I thought a lot of people have been saying a lot of good things about Sam Darnold that I liked. He's been doing his thing well in preseason, just managing camp and managing all the pressures. I've been really impressed. And then, you know, he came out through that pick six, came back and had a heck of a day. That says a lot about a quarterback. And I'm super excited for him. But the real sleeper quarterback this week was Ryan Fitzpatrick. I went and looked. In all 6 leagues that we have, not one team drafted him in the fantasy draft, which kind of surprised me a little bit because, I mean, he was a starting quarterback, but we all expect Winston to come in and take over that job. I don't know now. You got a solid guy like Fitzpatrick in there doing his thing. Man, I don't know. He's a genius. He's a genius, and then he goes out there and just puts in work. Against the Saints, I really thought the Saints defense was going to be great. How many of you played Saints or started Saints defense against the Buccaneers? Yeah, you should have. But man, dude, Fitzpatrick got it done. Yeah, nobody drafted him. I think I tried to pick him up in a couple leagues and didn't win the waiver wire. So he's definitely on some teams now, but just one of those guys that hangs around all the time, and I love it. I love it. I went 3-3, so I got a team in all 6 leagues. I had 3 wins. I had 3 losses. Some shout outs that need to go out. The highest scoring team out of all 6 leagues came from Carter's Box Breaks. I forget which league he's in, but he scored over 180 points in a 20-man league. Man, if I get 100 points in a 20-man league, I'm like, that was a good week. We found some things right there. 180 points. I talked to him a little bit about it. He said that was the most points out of any of their fantasy teams, which included some 12-man teams or 14 or something like that. But yeah, man, 20-league teams are deep, and that's why we're here to help you. We want to give you some players that if you got them sitting on your bench, man, you might want to think about them. Number 1 for me, Jonnu Smith, the backup tight end at Tennessee. You know, Delaney Walker's hurt. He's out, so that's not going to be an option for Marcus Mariota. But Jonnu Smith's a talented dude. Comes in, fills that role right. Man, he could be looking at a huge year and a huge week this week. So Jonnu Smith is on my list of guys to look out for. Another tight end, George Kittle. And with that, Dante Pettis for the 49ers. Y'all know I love Jimmy G. I caught some flack with how low I had Jimmy G on my rankings when I made my list of top 20 quarterbacks. But hey, man, listen. They're playing a rough Lions team this week who just gave up 30 fantasy points to Jared Cook. All right, then you got Jimmy G coming in there with George Kittle, and he's actually low-key solid in fantasy. And, you know, I think George Kittle could have a huge week this week, a huge week. And Dante Pettis got himself in the end zone last week. I know he has that, like, weird cat celebration where he, like, licks his paw, and I feel weird even doing it. And I don't know why that's his NFL celebration. But, nonetheless, the dude can catch some passes. He's got some speed, and he's got a heck of a quarterback thrown to him against a pretty rough defense. Speaking of defenses, we all saw how good the Bears defense can be. Of course, you can't be one-legged Rodgers. Who can? But, you know, what we saw of the Bears defense was crazy. And I was looking into some stats about it. Thank you, Matthew Berry. Guys, last year, in 8 home games, the Bears gave up 6 total passing touchdowns. 6. In 8 games, 6 total passing touchdowns. I was super impressed with that stat. And guess what? That was without Khalil Mack. Now they have Khalil Mack. They're going to be even crazier. I don't really care about defense in fantasy football, but this week, I'm looking at a Bears defense that's playing against a rough Seattle offense. You still got Russell Wilson, but he's missing all of his targets. Baldwin's not playing. Jimmy Graham, who's an end zone guy last year, he's gone. And, you know, it's just kind of been a weird start for the Seahawks season with injuries and personnel. You know, I really think the Bears have got a solid thing going on defense this week. And, man, dude, Bears defense is something to look at, something to seek out in your fantasy lineups this week. Let's see who else we got. Ryan Grant shows some great things for the Colts. He's a slot receiver guy that goes out wide here and there, but he played a lot of slot with T.Y. Hilton bouncing around. You know that Josh Norman's going to be keying on T.Y. Hilton or the you know, the guy that's going to be outside. But Ryan Grant got a lot of sneaky little third down catches, a lot of little 5-yard drags, stuff like that. Stuff that the Colts offense needs to keep their thing going. So Ryan Grant might be a guy in deeper leagues where he's like, hey man, my guy's going to get 4 catches, 40 yards. It's going to give me 8 points, better than a goose egg that a lot of those big hitters can get you on occasion when they're going against a great defense. So, you know, the Washington defense isn't great. They do have Josh Norman, but again, he's not looking to cover guys like Ryan Grant. So, you know, it's a big deal for him. All right, so be looking out for those guys. Hey, good luck to all you this week. If you're playing me, I'm bringing my best A game.